Trump just dropped a bomb on the global auto industry, 25% tariffs on every car not made in the US, starting April 2nd. GM got hit hard. They lost $1.1 billion in a single quarter. Their stock nosedived, and profits sank by over 30%. And it's not just GM. Stellantis took a €300 million loss and had to shut down plants. Production lines in Canada and the US paralyzed. Trump used an old Cold War law, Section 232 of the 1962 Trade Expansion Act, to justify it as national security. But really, it's about forcing companies to move factories from Mexico and Canada back to the US under the new rules. Even if a car's assembled in Canada, if its parts don't meet USMCA standards, it gets taxed. That hit Canada hard, especially Ontario. Major manufacturers like GM, Ford, and Stellantis bled billions. UBS estimates each car built in Canada or Mexico now costs $4,300 more. From Asia, up to $6,250. Barclays warns if car companies don't adjust fast, they might lose all profits. At first, automakers ate the costs. But by mid-year, sticker prices started jumping by $2,000 to $12,000. Car sales plummeted. Americans bought nearly 2 million fewer cars. Credit debt soared. Factories laid off hundreds. Small parts suppliers went under. The ripple effect hit banks, insurers, and local economies. In places like Michigan and Indiana, tax revenues dropped. States are staring down budget holes. Meanwhile, green energy is taking a backseat. EV plans are delayed. Asian battery parts too expensive with tariffs. If you're finding this breakdown eye-opening, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives like this. We expose what others won't, right here on the Untold Compass. Now back to the chaos, but Canada didn't just take the hit. They punched back, hard. Ottawa slapped its own 25% tariffs on US cars and parts not meeting USMCA rules. They taxed US steel and aluminum, too. Then launched a Buy Canadian campaign, and it's working. Over 90% of Canadians back the movement. Domestic demand surged. Canada's exports to the US fell below 71%, the lowest in over a decade. Instead, they boosted exports to Europe and Asia, riding on CEDA and CPTPP deals. Exports to India, up 16.5%. Auto parts production inside Canada, up 10%. Over 5,000 Canadian small businesses joined new domestic supply chains. Canada's economy got leaner, more local, and surprisingly resilient. Then came the lumber war. Trump hit Canadian softwood lumber with a 20% tariff. Canada supplies 30% of US demand. That pushed up the cost of building a home by $5,000 to $8,000, maybe even $30,000 with rising material costs. Now Canada's threatening export quotas, cutting off the US from 28 million cubic meters of softwood. And there's no easy replacement. Europe doesn't export enough. US domestic supply can't fill the gap. As US construction costs rise, Canada eyes new markets like Japan and the EU, no tariffs, high demand. By switching to high-value products like furniture and engineered wood, Canada's making more money with fewer exports. Then came Trump's 50% tariff on imported copper. Prices spiked to $5.95 a pound, the highest in years. Copper powers everything from EVs to appliances. And the US gets 30% of it from Canada. Just 2 days later, Canada struck back again, hinting at cutting off lumber exports. The market panicked. Copper futures jumped 13% overnight. Every American manufacturer using copper, cars, air conditioners, solar panels, is now paying the price. Canada's strategy? Chess, not checkers. They've locked in trade routes with Japan, Germany, France. In just 6 months, their refined copper exports to Europe soared 47%. Meanwhile, American companies are stuck with higher prices and slower projects. And US families? They're footing the bill, more expensive cars, homes, appliances. Then, as if it couldn't get messier, enter the K-truck ban. 19 US states suddenly banned these tiny Japanese mini trucks that cost under $10,000 and run forever. They're legal under the 25-year rule. But now state DMVs, backed by a shady nonprofit called AAMVA, are revoking registrations. Why? They claim safety issues. But there's no data. And AAMVA isn't even a government agency. It's a nonprofit with zero transparency. They're not targeting giant SUVs that kill pedestrians. No, they're crushing affordable mini trucks used by farmers and small businesses. These bans are wiping out thousands of dollars in vehicle value, overnight. In Colorado and Massachusetts, owners fought back and won. But in places like Maine, the ban stands. The question is, who benefits from killing off cheap, efficient trucks? Certainly not everyday Americans. K-trucks were a rare affordable option in an auto market flooded with $60,000 pickups. This isn't about safety. It's about control. And it raises real concerns about how unelected nonprofits are shaping policies that wreck livelihoods. Meanwhile, the SUV market booms, even though they're more dangerous to pedestrians and guzzle fuel. So who's really being protected? Not small business owners. Not families. Not the middle class. And certainly not the truth. If you're tired of being left in the dark, then do something about it. Subscribe to the Untold Compass, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this video before it disappears into the algorithm. Because this trade war, it's not just global, it's personal.